And look, he got it that time. I waited. Oh, yeah. Prop bait bass right there. Going old school on them. The old school devil's horse. So everybody loves to catch fish on topwater. I'm here in the shop. I'm getting ready for our next event. Just been tinkering with rods and baits and getting stuff tuned in. And it's mid-April. You know, there's probably a buzzbait bite that actually happened already. But now, you know, around here, the fish are on the beds. There's some phase of the spawn, you know, either pre-spawn, spawn, or even guarding fry, or even now onto a shad spawn. But it's that time of year where topwater should be heating up. I'm here at the pond. The fish in my pond are very, very spooky. So just throwing something noisy and all that typically doesn't work. But I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? It's a perfect day for topwater. Why not break out old school, the old school devil's horse of all things? I mean, you can see I've had this thing forever. It's one I've doctored up here. It's got the eagle claw, the old red treble hooks on the front, which I really like. It's got my double split ring. This is actually one of my tournament mode topwaters right here. So we're just going to rig it up and go try it in the pond here and see if we can't catch some fish. So, you know, everybody thinks topwaters early in the morning and late in the evening. And yeah, that's great at certain times. But when it's early like this, I like it better as the day warms up. It seems like early in the year when the temperatures are still cool, it takes time for the fish to warm up. I mean, the fish become more aggressive as the conditions warm up. So the topwater should be too. So Bobby wanted to get out and video this first thing this morning. I said, no, we just need to take our time. And as the conditions warm up, so will the fishing. So got the devil's horse here. Gonna rig it up. This is a rod. This is the Cast King bladed jig rod. I actually had this rigged up for a buzzbait for our next event here, but we're gonna rig it up for the old devil's horse just to go try the pond here. It's probably why it takes me so long to get ready for a tournament, because I get distracted by going down and playing in the pond. But that's good because it keeps me fresh and dialed into certain baits. So I could tie this directly to the braid, but prop baits do not work well tied directly to braid. I'll do that on a moving bait like a buzz bait or a plopping type bait, but a prop bait like this, I love to put a little mono leader or copolymer leader on there. So that's what we're going to do. Get my cutters out here. So when do I use copolymer or monoline anymore? This is about it when it comes to fishing top waters where I want a little bit of a leader. So we're going to take some 17 Gamma Polyflex here. And being that this is, I'm in a hurry, and even that, I'm not going to have a very long leader, so a double uni knot works great for this. I mean, if I was in a tournament, I'd probably do an FG knot, but we're just going to do the simple double uni knot just because it's quick. It doesn't take me a lot of time. And who knows, this may not even work. We may go down there and not catch anything. But so a prop bait is really good because it's really good for fish that are spooky, but it's also a great bait for when fish are on the bed. It's very similar to fishing a frog. You know, a lot of guys will bed fish with a frog, but this devil's horse, the devil's horse or any kind of prop bait will kind of do the same thing. But what it's also great for is for fish that are guarding fry. So, and it's great for fish that are feeding. It's really cool having this pond because I can just kind of see how the ecosystem plays out. The frogs are pretty active and showing up. So we'll make about a 2-foot leader here.
Sherlin's loving looking at turkey heads staring at him while you're doing this.
Well, hey, it's turkey season and we haven't got the turkey decoys away, and I have
The shop's kind of a mess.
Stuff loaned out. We're trying to pack for a tournament. I got baits all over the front of my boat, but we had to go get distracted here.
So an old school devil's horse.
Yep. So yeah, so I've got this on the 7.3 bladed jig. It's got a nice soft tip. The 8-to-1 Bassinator Elite reel with 40-pound Cast King braid on it. And I've got a little, about a 2-foot leader here. I don't really want it that long. I just want enough to basically about a foot leader, because what'll happen if you have it on straight braid, there's no stretch at all in the line. It seems like the prop will get the braid caught in that front prop. So I found mono works good, and if the fish are spooky, that little bit of invisibility of this copolymer will help as well. So we're just going to tie this on. Simple polymer knot here. So there it is, just a black and chrome with an orange belly. Now, if I was in a tournament, I'd get my little Bass Pro Shops hook file out and touch those hooks up. In the back, I've got a little EWG Trocar treble on the back, number 6. So,
How old is this bait?
It's probably 20, 30 years old. You can see it's kind of beat up, but
that one bait is 20 or 30 years old.
Yeah, so, but yeah, there's a lot of other cool prop baits. I've got some custom made ones here that are really good. The cotton cordels are supposed to be really good, in Florida and all that. But, when it comes to catching fish, it's all about fishing what you're confident in. And that right there is it. So let's go see if we can catch one in the pond. So here we are, we've snuck down to the pond. You can see it's really still out. The pond is like a sheet of glass. So, whenever you're approaching something like this, no different than being in a boat, you got to be pretty stealthy and stay way back. So my first initial few cast up here close, I want to stay way back because, believe it or not, the fish in this pond are super spooky. So I've really learned a lot on how stealthy you have to be. One just chased looks like a bluegill or something right there, but I know there's some fish spawning in here. So let's take this nice old almost antique lure here and throw it out there. But when you fish a bait like this, you want to throw it out there and basically let all the ripples go away, especially if it's calm. If it's got some chop on the surface and all that, not so much, but I like to just throw it out there. To me, it's like something just fell out of that tree and it's just sitting up there, and bass is probably looking at it, and then I just kind of give it a twitch. I mean, if you ever watched a grasshopper on the surface of the water or a lot of insects, it's kind of that same thing. But you're just trying to entice those fish to come up there and either eat it because they're hungry, or they're coming up to kill it and get it away from their bed, or keeping it away from their fry that are already hatched and they're down there protecting them. But so this, unlike a lot of prop baits, this one's very subtle on the surface, but I like it in clear water or shallow, or where the fish seem to be spookier. If I was fishing deeper water or thicker vegetation, a little noisier, louder prop bait might be the choice. But all I want is something that just puts a little bit of noise up there and gets their attention. Oh, there it is. Oh, he got me in the stuff. I think he's still on there. My old primrose here. Being a pain. And there he is. Tiny guy. Got hooked good. Here we go. Oh. So I just threw my bait and one swirled right where the bait hit, which I think there's a fish on a bed right there. So now it's just kind of a cat and mouse game of letting it sit there, because the longer it sits there, it irritates the fish. Twitch it one time just to let him know it's there. So if it's a spot where I know there's a fish, a lot of times it may just take, kind of like guys will bed fish under the water. You can almost do the same thing on top of the water with a topwater. So I'm pretty certain right where my bait is right there, there's one on a bed. But I'm guessing just because it's cold or chilly still, the water cooled off overnight. Oh, and he got him to bite. He missed it. I was about to say I think it's too cool, and that's why they're not biting. But I got in a hurry and I jerked too soon. But we know where he's at now. And he didn't get the bait, so a lot of times this is the one time of year where you can really get the fish to come back on a top water if they miss it one time, if they don't get a piece of it. But if I was in a tournament situation, I would have pulled up a wacky worm and thrown it in there immediately too. So and look, he got it that time. I waited. Ah, yeah. All right. Pretty cool. Set up right next to the moss back there. I'd seen that fish wake a little bit. Oh, a nice one. There you have it. A nice prop bait bass right there, going old school on them. The old school devil's horse, little red eagle claws. Got him up front. Man, that's what I love about those eagle claw trebles. They got great big barbs on them. And then capped it off with the trocar on the back. There you go. Nice 2 3/4, 3-pound bass. So there it is. Old school devil's horse, doctored up with some red eagle claw trebles and capped off the back with my signature double split ring and trocar EWG on the back. Just twitch it along, be patient, and you catch them.